Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Your Lit Guru. I am Rishali and I will be teaching you English literature. So, in the first video, I basically talked about the entire syllabus that you are supposed to thoroughly cover for your English entrance exams, right? In the second video, I talked about what, in my opinion, would be the best way to approach the history of English literature. And in today's video and in a lot of my future videos, I will be teaching you each and every period that you are supposed to cover in the subject, the history of British English literature, okay? And today we will be starting with the Anglo-Saxon age. Okay, so before I begin with the explanation of the Anglo-Saxon age, I would like to talk about a dating system which has now become an unofficial global standard. Okay, so most of my students, I have taught a couple of students, and a few of them did not know the difference between or what it exactly means and how that particular dating system works. So that is why I want to begin this video with the explanation of those two aspects I'm basically referring to, because those two labels, okay, they are heavily used in the entire history of English literature, right? And these two aspects which I'm talking about are known as before Christ, that is BC, and the other one is called Anno Domini, AD. I don't know whether or not I am pronouncing it in the correct way, but the name of the person is Dionysius Exeges. Okay, the spellings are mentioned here. You can note down the name. And basically invented this system to keep a track of the number of years that have gone by. So BC, as I have mentioned, is the abbreviation for before Christ, and AD is an abbreviation for Anno Domini. This is a Latin term and it is translated in English language as in the year after our Lord Jesus Christ. So as I have already mentioned, this particular dating system or this particular way of keeping a track of the number of years that have gone by or that will be there in the future, they are used in a lot of books because they have become an unofficial global standard, right? And I will be also using these two labels. But other than that, if you don't want to use BC and AD, then you can also use these two fairly recent labels, which are BCE, before Common Era, and CE, Common Era as well. Okay, अब मैं simply explain करूँगी how BC and AD works. ठीक है, तो simply consider करो कि this is the year when Jesus Christ was born. So उनके birth से पहले तक जितने भी years रहे हैं ना, उनके साथ BC as a label हमेशा use होता है and वो descending order में work करता है. So for instance, 100 BC, 50 BC, 25 BC, 5 BC, 4 BC, 3 BC, 2 BC, and 1 BC. Then starts 1 AD. ठीक है, उनका बर्थ हो गया जीसस क्राइस्ट का. तो उसके बाद के जितने भी साल होंगे एंड जितनी भी सेंचुरीज आएंगी उनको काउंट करने के लिए हम हमेशा AD वाला लेबल यूज करते हैं. So 1 AD, 2 AD, 3 AD, 4 AD, 5 AD, and so on and so forth. Starting with the Anglo-Saxon age, this age started in the 5th century AD, okay, / Common Era, and it ended in the year 1066 AD / Common Era. You have to keep one thing in mind, which is Britain has been ruled by a lot of rulers over the centuries, okay, and one of them were Anglo-Saxons. But before we dig deep into that, I would like to talk about Roman rulers, specifically because in my future videos, you will come to know that Roman culture has immense influence in the shaping of English language as well as literature and in general the culture. Okay, so that is why we cannot miss talking about how Romans are connected to Anglo-Saxons. They inhabited more than 800,000 years ago, which means practically Britain has witnessed multiple cultures, multiple peoples, and it has also witnessed the creation and development of a lot of social concepts and ideas, right? One of which is English literature and the development of English language. So this English literature and English language was heavily influenced by the culture that Romans built. Now I will be talking about how Romans reached Britain. Okay, so in the year 390 BC, Romans were attacked by Gauls, and we should know who these Gauls were. So the Gauls belong to a group of people called Celti, and we today call them Celts. And Celts are very important. Okay, we should know about them because they are the original inhabitants of this island. Okay, so we have to remember that. Okay, so this particular group of people known as Gauls, they attacked Romans in the year 390 BC. For the next few centuries, Romans worked very hard and they built a very powerful army. Then finally, in the year 146 BC, Romans invaded Greece. Then in the year 129 BC, they invaded Turkey. And finally, in the year 121 BC, they invaded Gauls. Okay. And right now, you have to understand that Julius Caesar, he intended to build a very powerful empire. So Caesar was very ambitious and he did not stop there. Okay, he wanted to make the Roman people very powerful, and that is why he decided to conquer all the countries that surrounded Gaul, and one of which was a very fertile and a very beautiful island, which we today call Britain. Okay. After they invaded Gaul in the year 121 BC and finally conquered it in the year 51 BC, they decided to invade Britain. And they managed to conquer Britain in the year 43 AD. तब मैं जल्दी से हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ. ठीक है. सो जो रोमन रूलर्स थे वो ब्रिटेन तक कैसे पहुंचे, इस आइलैंड तक वो कैसे पहुंचे. सो 390 BC में गॉल्स ने अटैक किया था रोमन्स पर. ठीक है. उसके बाद कुछ सेंचुरीज तक रोमन्स अपनी आर्मी बिल्ड कर रहे थे. ठीक है. क्योंकि उनको they had to fight back, and that is when उन्होंने अपनी आर्मी पे वर्क करना शुरू करा. By 146 BC उन्होंने ग्रीस को कॉन्कर किया. 129 BC में उन्होंने टर्की को कॉन्कर किया. 121 BC में उन्होंने गॉल को इन्वेट करा. ठीक है. फाइनली 51 BC में उन्होंने गॉल कॉन्कर करा, एंड उसके बाद सीजर को पॉलिटिकल पावर और बढ़ानी थी अपनी. ठीक है. एंड उनको जियोग्राफिकल एरिया जिस पे वो रूल करते हैं वो एक्सपैंड करना था. सो जितनी भी गॉल के आसपास कंट्रीज थी ना, उन्होंने उसको भी कॉन्कर करना शुरू करा. एंड वन ऑफ विच वाज अ वेरी वेरी फर्टाइल आइलैंड. ठीक है. उन्होंने उसको भी कॉन्कर करा एंड 43 AD में वो एंटर कर गए. Once Roman conquered Britain, they entered the land, and they started building their culture. Okay, they used their army to control the original inhabitants, which were the Celts. Okay, कुछ time में क्या हुआ? The Roman rulers, the Roman army, and the Celts, they sort of formed a friendly alliance wherein Celts were allowing the rulers and the Roman people to use the resources this fertile island had to offer. And in turn, Celts ने रोमन आर्मी की हेल्प ली अपनी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, बिकॉज इस आइलैंड पे काफ़ी सारी ट्राइब्स की नज़र थी. ठीक. इस वजह से कोई ना कोई ट्राइब इन्वेट करने की कोशिश करती ही रहती थी. ठीक है. इस आइलैंड को, एंड दिस इज द रीज़न वाई Celts took help of the Romans, and already उन्होंने अपनी पावर एस्टैब्लिश कर दी थी. उन्होंने कॉन्कर कर लिया था, उन्होंने हरा दिया था Celts को. They didn't have any way out of it. The question which arises is that why did Romans leave Britain? And what happened was the Roman rule ended in Britain in the year 410 AD. Had to leave basically because the Roman Empire, Rome, was beleaguered by a lot of barbarian attacks, and so this is why the Emperor Honorius, he asked the Celts or Bretons, they are also known as Bretons today, to look after their own island. And finally they left in 410 AD, and Celts were very vulnerable. This island was very vulnerable. And a lot of tribes starting attacking it. A lot of Germanic groups like Angles, Saxons, Jutes, and Frisians, they already existed. They were around. They were living around this island. Okay, even when the Romans were ruling. But when the Roman army left and the island was exposed, okay, these tribes started attacking, and one of them were Picts and Scots. And Celts found themselves powerless, and that is why they needed some powerful army or people that can tackle the attack. And they made a very silly mistake. They asked a particular set of Germanic tribes to tackle another invading tribe, and these were Anglo-Saxons. So Anglo-Saxons sort of defeated, okay, they vanquished Picts and Scots, but what they did next, they conquered Britain. The Celts, they were asked to move out, and they were sent into the remote areas of the island, and Anglo-Saxons basically started their rule in the 5th century, right? Okay, so that is when the Anglo-Saxon rule begins, and Anglo-Saxons जो culture form करेंगे, उस culture में हमारी English language develop करेगी, English culture develop करेगा. इस वीडियो में मुझे इतना ही history explain करनी थी, ठीक है, कि रोमन्स कैसे रिलेटेड है ब्रिटेन से. आई वांटेड टू टॉक अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड, एंड देन आई वांटेड टू एंटर द एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड. नाउ नेक्स्ट वीडियो में मैं आगे कंटिन्यू करूंगी. आई विल बी further explaining the period. This was about this video. I will see you next week. Okay. So तब तक अपने notes prepare कर लो, थोड़ा सा Wikipedia and simple sources से पढ़ लो, और उसके बाद time मिले तो Anglo-Saxon age शुरू कर देना. अभी नहीं करना, कोई बात नहीं, 2-4 वीडियोस आ जाने तो आपको हिस्ट्री से समझ में आ जाएगी, उसके बाद शुरू कर देना. सो टेक केयर ऑफ योरसेल्व्स, बी पॉजिटिव.